From Tokyo to London, across the globe, respecting the craft, we're in the know. No gimmicks or fakes, just pure passion and skill. The best talents from every wrestling hill. We dive deep into the stories behind the ring. Respecting the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best, we can't hide. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best, we can't hide. We dive deep into the stories behind the ring. Respect the craft, making the fans sing. Respect the craft, respect the fight. We bring the best.
And we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 293, and I have the honor here of being joined by a true world traveler, very amazing entertainer. He is the Moonwalk DDT man himself. We got Santana Jackson in the building. What's going on, man? Good evening.
Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're good. Definitely glad to have you on. Definitely an episode I've been looking forward to. But no, before we get into everything, because there's definitely a lot I want to get into here with you, I have to ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on. You heard the name of the podcast. It's called Respect the Craft. So for you, when you hear that term, what does the craft mean to you?
The business, what I do, my entertainment world, my performing, my hard work I put in when it comes to wrestling or even on stage dancing is like being committed to your craft,
Got you. No, that's perfect. Which then brings me to this now, because we have to go in both aspects. Let's go first with, again, one of the main topics we discuss here, and that is the craft of pro wrestling. What was it for you that got you that love of not only this is a passion, this is something you enjoy, I got to step through those ropes? What was it for you that started that journey right there?
Honestly, I've been a fan since I was a kid. I love wrestling. I love everything that had to do with it. And my brother could tell you, because everything I learned, I do it on him. Honestly, I came to Vegas. I never thought I'd be able to wrestle myself. But when I came to Vegas, I got with the MJ Live show. And my brother was like, hey, there's a school that trains for wrestling. I was like, get out of here. There's actually a school. Because I never knew there was schools that you can go to and train. I would have done that a long time ago. But I found that out FSW, and I went up, signed up with their school and training with them for a while. And the moment I got behind there and I started learning stuff, man, the passion grew even more. It's like, oh man, it's more extreme. The family you build when you wrestle with these guys, you meet these guys, you meet so many people in the locker room, the respect, the different, shaking hands for everybody you walk in, introducing yourself. I mean, I love that respect. It brought me into the world way more. It's like, oh man, this is what I want to do. This is it. When I wrestled the first time, the Moonwalk DDT, that's what really. That's what turned the knot. Like, all the way. I was like, all right, now we got to turn this Michael Jackson thing into a whole new world.
Which that brings me then into that, which is again another craft of yours, the other passion, which is again a reason we're here right here. It's Santana Jackson, that second side of it being the Jackson, the impersonation here. What is it with that love for you for Michael Jackson, for the legend himself?
Man, I love Michael Jackson's music. I love the way it made me feel. I could dance. I can just lose myself in it. I didn't have to feel any certain way. It was just like just get lost in the songs.
Gotcha.
The performance he would put dancing behind the dancing performance. Every move, every sweat, every drip, every bead. Everything was like hard work behind it. But it was like I learned it, I picked up, and then I get it. I get how much he put. But I love Michael since I was a kid. I used to be shy. so I would never dance in front of people. But when I would hear Michael, I forgot that I was shy, and then I'd start dancing and just I was like, oh wait a minute, this is it for me. I can't go dancing to 50 Cent. Find me in the club. I couldn't get down like that. But you put some Billie Jean on, I'm just like,
That's it.
yeah, y'all about to see something.
Got
I
you,
love
got
Michael.
you.
I was a big fan. I was hoping if I became good enough, a good tribute artist, that I would be able to meet him. So I'd meet Michael, shake his hand, talk to him, maybe become a friend. You never know, get him to see what I was doing, So, but by the time he passed away, I was like, oh man, I dedicated a lot of my life to performing like Michael and doing all this. So I was like, I ain't stopping now. So we shooting for the stars. So I went to Vegas, and it took me a minute. I ain't gonna lie, Vegas took a while before I got anywhere with the Michael stuff, but. Like 4 years of homeless for a couple of years and working off of tips and donations, doing charity events, hospitals, you name it. Had to pick up magic because a lot of kids in the hospital couldn't see me do the dance moves. So I
Okay.
learned magic. So I became the Magic Mike, just not the one that takes his clothes off.
No, hey, again, it's those humble beginnings. But like you said, you had to make your way to Vegas. Now let's go into maybe what not many people know, and let's go to the origin here, what we were talking about before we got on the air. Because it's no secret, we're in the NYC, at least on this side of things, and another body in the house. So let's talk about that from your beginnings here. How do we get to Vegas? Where's your origin, brother?
Man, I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Bullied for a while. I was out there because I was a chunky little kid, moving school to school. But eventually, mom was like, "You need to stop coming home with bruises." And I started defending myself, and I defended myself too much. So I went up, jumping school to school to school, and eventually we moved to Florida. I went to Florida for a while. Then I went back to New York with my dad, where I became a New York City's champion in track. Got some trophies, got some medals for that. I've saved someone's life from a fire. I went up with a plaque from the fire department. I saved this lady and her two daughters. I ran into a burning building and got them out, type stuff.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. I was a kid. I was still young at the time, so I was just like, yeah, it's the superhero in me. Let's do it. Um, yeah, I did a lot of cool things, and then I went to Vegas from Florida, and then I had like two kids in Florida for a while. And I was like, I got two boys, I got to step up and start taking care of my kids. So I started doing MJ stuff everywhere. I started doing like all the Florida scenes, getting recognized, and then I was on Pier 60 for a while. Someone was like, dude, what are you doing out here? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just trying to work. I'm St. Pete Beach, trying to make some money in Clearwater Beach, all here and there. They're like, oh man, no, Vegas. Flew to Vegas. A friend of mine flew me to Vegas. They pretty much dropped me off there. Like, here you go. Here's Vegas. Bye. I'm like, I don't know nothing.
yeah.
I kind of learned the routes and stuff, and learn how to perform and how to make some money out there. Like I was homeless for a year, so like 2 years, I want to say, just working off of tips and donations. I didn't wear the makeup. Now you see when I wear makeup, I put the full makeup on, lipstick, eyes, eyebrows. Right now I'm just.
No, yeah, it's
it's
everything.
still me. It's still here.
When you see the performance, there's everything right there. There's the full.
yeah.
It goes into it. You go deeply into the true just character in a sense.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, though, because again, you say that having to unfortunately in those early years be homeless, getting through that, is there ever that moment that's just like, you know what, this isn't worth it? Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this if it put me in this scenario?
There's plenty of those scenarios that I gone to. Like, man, I couldn't get an apartment. I didn't have a credit card or a bank account or anything like that to show like that I'm working. Like, especially when I first get my first apartment. Like, I was living at Siegel Suites, which is like a weekly thing, and I was like, ugh, can I make it work? It's like, so much a week. I didn't have anything to show that I work for a regular job. I was a street performer, so I was on the street making money like that. So, thank the gods, they actually worked with me and was able to, let me get an apartment, and I kind of build it up that way and went to another apartment, kind of bouncing around so I find better places. And now I live in a house, so like,
hey, it worked out there. It's one of those where I usually ask, especially when it comes to this, and now we can go in both crafts. When was that moment that it felt like, you know what, this was the right call, this was the right direction to go in terms of both sides of the coin there?
Well, after working the strip for a while, being in the street, and I felt like I was being seen. I mean, I was getting somewhat of a recognition from all the corporate events I was doing. I was doing weddings, I was doing stuff like that. But nothing to make me go, oh, this is gonna pay off. You know, this is be what I've been hoping for. What picked up for me was when MJ Live picked me up. I got signed by the show because that was my goal. I came to Vegas to be part of that MJ Live show, but I didn't know the correct channels to take or the correct people to speak to. So it was just like dance in the street, you know. The other Michael is actually the reason I got part of the show. He pretty much ran off all the other Michael Jacksons, and it was only up to him. He was doing 7 days a week, and he came and got me off on the strip. Said, "Hey, dude, you want to work a few days?" I'm like, yeah. Got signed up with the show, and my boss told me I had to do 3 things. And he said, I need to get a vehicle, get the wardrobe, and change my girlfriend. I did all 3 of these things. And yeah, everything's been good. I've been with the show now for 8 years. So, and it's been like, I've been approved 100 times. Thank you. No, thank you. It's been a blessing.
With that being said, though, again, doing that now, you're in there, which is, I can only imagine the extent schedule and then the preparation and being able to master all of that, have to work out, again, making sure the choreography is to a T.
Yeah.
How do we then decide as well, you know what, I still want to do wrestling. I still want to jump into this insane craft that we do here and that we love. How does that still balance out that it's like, you know what, we're going to still do both here?
Well, I started with the MJ Live. They're doing 7 days, so they only gave me 2 nights a week. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with the spare time, you know?
Okay.
And my brother, like I said, he found the wrestling, and I went to start training with them, and they were like, "Oh, so you're Michael Jackson for the show?" I'm like, "Yeah." They said you should wrestle as Michael Jackson, and then that happened, and then I did a little something that kind of blew up for me and got me stuck doing this now. But I mean, I loved wrestling. Like I wanted to wrestle still anyway. And I just didn't know I could. But when I found that school and I started training with them and realizing I can do all these moves, I can high fly, I can backflip, do whatever they need me to do. You know, a lot of the stuff right now is just me dancing and doing my Michael moves, but I'm turning a lot of my Michael moves into a wrestling move that's going to be more. So kind of, I still practice my actual Michael steps, but I turn it into a clothesline now, or, you know, my big spins I do, turns into a clothesline, or I'll walk the rope doing beat it and still practicing my beat it steps, you know. Do a crotch grab and jump on you and give you a hero karate, you know. Moonwalking across the ring while we locked up, you know.
No, it's definitely, again, it's turned that, and it's so perfect to see those little things. And that brings me to question this, though. Was when you started to find, okay, I could do this, I can get into wrestling, would you have wanted to still do this? Would you wanted to be Santana Jackson, or was there a thought of, oh, I can leave that at this side and then be a whole different character here? Or was it one of those guys
like, in the beginning, I just wanted to be me. I just wanted to be, you know, Santana, just, you know, a Puerto Rican kid from Brooklyn, New York, who wanted to wrestle. You know, it's pretty much what it was. They saw the Michael, and I said, that was cool, I'll do it. But my main thing was to wrestle without the makeup, because that's a lot of makeup to put on, lipstick, you talking about eyeliner, you talking about doing all that. Right now, I get to just be me. I'm like, I'm free, you know. But with the makeup on, it's like a lot more stuff, and trying to make sure you stay looking good while you're in the ring fighting people. Like, don't rub me on your arm, on your chest too much. You're gonna have my whole face right here. I mean, there was a match I was laying in the corner, a guy comes and hits me with his butt, and literally when he walked away from the whole side of my face, you can see my nose, my lips, you can see my whole imprint, the eyeball spot on the side of his butt cheeks as he's walking around. Everyone is dying, and I'm trying not to look because I'm smirking about it a little bit. I'm like, don't laugh. You just crushed me. But that's like, too funny.
We still got to sell this, but oh no, it's too funny not to see.
Oh shit, man, my face. I'm like,
oh man. But no, that is great to see. And then so that though, seeing that and being able to now merge those two, and then when the schedule did get a little more intense, because now because of this, it did get picked up. Oh, yeah. I think one of the biggest things that people first got to really see you as well was the first time you hit that moonwalk DDT. And I feel like that clip just went everywhere, that even TMZ picked it up.
Oh man,
in one of their stories.
Crazy. I couldn't believe it myself. Snoop Dogg even shared it. I was like, what? My son woke me up. Like, my son was visiting me, right? So I have he's 17 now, but he had been like 13, 14 when I had him with me. Maybe even 15 actually. And he was hanging out with me when I was doing that first time on Moonwalk DDT. He's in the background actually in the video in like a blue shirt. You can see him watching me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hit the Moonwalk DDT, boom. We go home the next day, and he wakes me up. Dad, you went viral. I said, son, I had my shots. I'm not viral nothing. I didn't know I didn't know what he was trying to tell me. He's like, you stupid. I'm like, what do you mean stupid? Like, don't be calling me stupid. I'm your dad. He's like, no, you went viral. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? I was like, I know I went to the doctor. So he pulls up the video and shows me. It's like, oh, like social media stuff. I was done with the kind of that. And he's like, show me. I was like, oh, that's what it is. He's like, yeah, everyone's talking about you. No, they're talking about Santana Jackson. They don't know who I am. No, but it was pretty cool. That was a cool moment. You know, my son waking me up to that. I was like, damn, I picked up. Everyone liked it. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's improving it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is what I'm doing then. This is going to keep on going until I get a deceased letter.
I can imagine that is still, I could still be a worry, right? Because of all.
I don't know. I'm still my own character. If they try to stop me for something, I'll just take the makeup off. You get this guy now. You get this guy with still the same moves. Everything's still the same. I'm still he moonwalking, DDT, and elbow dropping, king of pop.
Well, it's still a thing of, hey, there is the difference. It isn't like you're calling yourself Michael Jackson in there.
No.
Like there is a difference.
Yeah.
There is the best way to put it. Like when you see certain wrestlers, you just see a little bit of the tones of what they did, but you're still doing your own thing.
I said, like Honky Tonk Man. You know who he was. We know who he was. He made it told you he didn't know who he was, but he knew. He was all shook up.
Yo, like we got my bro here, Yardley saying, Mr. Black from Jobber Tears saying, yo, this man's voice is deep. It's like, yeah, because it's him. He's not gonna.
I'm not gonna talk like Michael. You know, so I love you guys. Thank you. No. Even Michael didn't talk. Michael was doing that for you guys. Hi, yeah, I love you. When he's behind the scenes, he's like, yo, these guys gonna leave me the hell alone. What the hell's going on, Tito? Come on, Tito. Jermaine, you did what you did to me. That album's over.
I think that's what people forget too. That there was again, even with Michael, there was a character, there was a persona he was giving to the people, and then it's the people that actually knew him that would tell the stories. Like, yeah, that wasn't his voice 24/7. That wasn't what he. Yeah.
Home on TV? Are we recording? Okay. I love you. Thank you. Let's heal the world. Let's make it a beautiful place. Me, you, and my monkey Bubbles. It's beautiful.
Oh, man.
They stop. He's like, man, this is crazy. I'm done recording. Can I go to sleep?
Oh, man. But no, again, with that being said, though, thanks to, again, both opportunities here, you've gotten to, like I said, even travel the world, do your thing. I got to ask you about that. How did it feel to even get to go all the way and wrestle in Mexico with this? Again, for them to see you, how was that reaction? Because I can only imagine them seeing you, again, the love for both, again, La Lucha Libre, and then the love for Michael Jackson. They must have just went nuts seeing you like, holy shit, it's Michael Jackson wrestling. Meanwhile, it's Santana Jackson. But they're just... I
can't explain it. I cannot explain it. When I walked out, when I got out there, I was like, all right, it's cool. And I was normal. But people, even by my hotel, knew who I was. I'm going, Santana Jackson. I'm like, they said my name. I was like, you knew my name. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. You knew who I was. Because normally people go, oh, it's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm used to that. That's cool, But when they say, that's Santana Jackson, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah. How you doing? Let's get some photos. Come on. That was cool. But when I stepped out for like behind the curtains and stepped out to the audience and saw how big and thick that place was and how crazy they went for me, I was blown away. I was sucking it up. I was like, I feel like The Rock stepped out and just taking that moment to suck it all in. If you smell, I was just literally, that's the moment I felt like that. I just sat there and just literally looked all around and soaked it up and was just like so amazed that they're chanting and screaming. They knew my name, they knew who I was. They were going crazy if I walked down. Everyone's like, I'm getting high fives, moonwalking. I'm like, man, this is what I want. This is what I want to do forever. I'm gonna be 80 years old, moonwalk DDT with a broken hip. We're gonna figure it out. I'm grabbing a crutch out. We're gonna make this work, baby. Wheelchair and all. I'll wheelchair out, grab a wheelchair backwards.
Oh, that's awesome. That is truly great to hear. But I do have to ask that then. How is that reaction because I can imagine, especially in Vegas or especially when you go around and you're in again, the amount of time that you're gonna be like, oh, look, it's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson. How is that reaction for you? Is it one of those that it's like, it's the flattering, or is it like, No, you're gonna learn who I am, really. Like you're gonna
Well,
learn about
it's
Santana Jackson.
flattering to a point because there's a lot of MJs out there. There's a lot of different
Yeah.
Michael Jacksons, and I like to be I like to stick out a little bit. I like to be known for what I do because I'm not like your average Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? A lot of Michaels stick to what Michael. You know me. I kind of jump. You know, break the 4-4 or whatever. I'm breaking walls down. I'm doing things I shouldn't do. Like wrestling as Michael. I mean, I do a lot of different things, but like I even did a jiu-jitsu tournament as Michael Jackson. So I mean, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm a different type of guy. You're gonna see me. I mean, I choked the guy out on Fremont Street and went viral for choking the guy out.
That was perfect. Again, another way I got to see you, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know him though, and it's like I wonder if they know. And then they showed again the clip. They posted the moonwalk DDT, and it's like, okay, now people are gonna connect the two. That it's like, I feel like I know him from somewhere. Okay, that clicks.
Yeah.
And it's seeing that, and just again, that guy did not know what was coming to him. He just decided, let me punch a Michael Jackson for some reason, and then, oh shit, I'm in a chokehold.
Yeah, pretty much. He wanted to be started something. I had to show him what a smooth criminal looks like. Now he knows who's bad. You know what I'm saying? He had to beat it for a little bit. I almost beat him black and white, but look, I'm just gonna let it slide right now.
And look, that is again how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you didn't catch that, come on. Which let's get into that though, because I can imagine before we get into the main thing people want to hear about, which is going to be next Friday's VXS and the Wrestling Universe presents Arrival and your big match. I do got to ask a few MJ questions here because especially with we got to get into this. And again, you mentioned a few great hits right there. If you had to pick one, I know it's like picking through a whole. It's hard to pick just one, but if you had to pick your favorite. One of those that it's like you will never get tired of performing. One song that you pick of MJ's, which would it be?
It would be Billie Jean.
Okay.
The whole dance routine, the light, the whole grabbing of the hat, the whole start over of the song when he's doing the silhouette dancing, like that's what got me into Michael. That's what caught me. I go, man, that is so cool. Like how many people do stuff like that? Nobody. He's the one who invented all that stuff. Many movies, all this. Like that's iconic. I was like, this is the guy I need to follow and hopefully one day meet, you know. But yeah, I think it's Billie Jean for sure. Billie Jean's always been the one that caught my ear. Something before I even knew what the words were, I was dancing to Billie Jean, you know, just the beat.
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh yeah, doop doop, brush the hair, doop doop, doop doop. But no, Billie Jean is definitely my favorite to dance to. I get a lot more footwork, a little more action there. You get to see more what Michael would have done on stage, especially if you see me live. I pretty much do exactly what Michael would did.
Got you. No, that's perfect right there. So now I have to ask on the flip side, what has been that song that again you might love, and it's one of those that you want to really get into, but it's been I don't know how Michael did it because it's been like my kryptonite, if there is one.
She's Out of My Life.
Okay.
Slower song. She's Out of My Life. Like when we get to that, she's out of my life. I'm like, man, why do I gotta sing this one right now? This is like, before even the song starts, I'm walking up and looking at my drummer and my guitar player and the keyboardist. Like, why are we singing this song? Let's do Remember the Time. Let's do PYT. And then the song starts and get right into it. Like, that's the song that I feel like it's the hardest. It's just hard to really bring people in because it's a slower song, you know. I mean, unless you're dealing with some heartbreak and you feeling that everyone's out there crying, she's out of my life too. I know.
Hey, sometimes in Vegas, that might be the thing. That might be the reason why people are in Vegas at times. And it's like,
yeah, she's out of my life. We just got married last week and divorced Friday.
It's like, oh, why'd you have to do that? She just left me yesterday, man. That's
the thing is, I'd probably be the guy who married them and divorced them, you know, as Michael. Oh, you're married. I'll see you next week. You're divorced now. Here you
go. Has that been? Because I can imagine, like you said, you're doing the thing everywhere and doing some things that maybe have been outlandish with again the impersonating here. What has been the craziest thing you've been asked to do so far as Santana Jackson? If you can talk about it on here.
What have I done? That's so crazy. Besides working with ICP, I mean, they've had me do some crazy stuff. Those guys are fun. Man, what have I done? I know I've done some. There's been something I was like, oh man, I don't know about that. I can't remember. I know there was a moment that someone's like, can you do this? And I'm like, I can, But okay, it was like one of these. They wanted me to dance on one of the moving limo trucks or whatever,
Okay.
and they were like swerving all through town, and they wanted me to moonwalk down the thing and do all this. Like it was like extra stuff there while I was trying to be bungee type. It was a really a weird situation where like 50 people were in this thing, and you have this much leg room, and you gotta. It was a couple of weird moments, like the dancing in the hall, the baseball field. I had to dance for 15,000 people in a Bollywood thing. I had no idea what I had to do, but they played my music and I got down. But that was on a dugout, on two different dugouts on the inside, and one on a big main stage with a Bollywood star. I had no idea who he was at all. He comes up, he's jamming with me. I'm jamming with him. People going crazy. Someone threw their panties at me. I threw it back at grandma. It was crazy. I told grandma to put it back on. No, I think it was the Bollywood one. I think that was the one I did the crazy. Had me doing the most craziest stuff, dancing from all these different areas and different spots in the whole baseball field. So it was like, yeah, I learned some Bollywood stuff. I learned how to do this here. Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
this.
Yeah, you add a little bit of influence now. You add something to the performances now. You add something there that it's like it's that mix. But no, that then does bring me to this because I always like to do a little research, like to get into things. And even when we're starting this, I know you're into a fandom that I'm very big into, and that is Power Rangers. So, I am jealous of that because I have the helmet and I have the Dragon Zord. I have that, but seeing that right there, I'm jealous as hell.
I actually met him and got pictures with him before, so it was pretty cool.
That is taking the character. Have you done that? Have you gone fully as Santana Jackson to conventions? How has that reaction been?
I've gone to a couple places as full, like actually dressed up as the Green Ranger and was still Michael Jackson underneath it.
That's awesome.
So I took the helmet off and I was like, oh shoot. I'm like, hee, morphin' time.
That is awesome.
I can get you a clip of it. Let me see this.
Oh, look at that. There we go. That is dope, having all the helmets right there.
Oh man, I'm a collector when it comes to helmets and stuff of that sort.
Oh, that's dope. Look at that. So we go in all right here because we have from just heroes to comics to Star Wars to anime. We got a little bit of everything right here.
About everything here. And here's my from the bottom to the top thing. So down here is actually the sign I had when I was homeless.
Look at that. Okay.
And then kind of moving up, start getting recognized by the show, and then slowly become part of the show. And I finally, they put me on something. Where the hell they put me on? Here we are.
Oh, there you go. That is dope right there. So again, to even have that to remember those moments of just humble beginnings to now see where you're at and just to see, like you said, from unfortunately those times of being homeless to now, you've been blessed to now have the house. You're there, you're comfy, getting to have all the amazing things that you're having right there and still working hard though. Still, again, earning those opportunities and still on that hustle, man.
Every day. I don't stop. I mean, you got to keep pushing for the moon, the star, past it, through the universe. We're trying to get somewhere.
No, definitely, man.
But we're trying to get there.
Definitely. But now let's get into that. Let's get into a reason a lot of people are here as well. And that is this Friday, you return back to the tri-state area as you'll be competing at the Wrestling Universe and VXS present Arrival 2. This being a stacked event. If you guys haven't gotten your tickets already, make sure you get them now. Ticket link in the description down below. And you are facing none other than one half of the main event, Blazing J Lion. This one truly that special attraction bout here. And this isn't your first time, though, competing with VXS. This is now making your way to the tri-state area, though, because the first time we got to wrestle with them was, I believe, in your neck of the woods now in Vegas. If I'm not mistaken.
It was actually in LA, and then back in Vegas. Yeah, when they came out here, we did a little something on Fremont Street. Yep. I took on Joey Janela that time.
Yeah.
Last time I threw a baby off a balcony. Yeah, I remember that one. See, I knew they were going there. I was
like, the last time though, you might have broken the internet with that one because we were like, yep, he did that in the middle of what looked like a mall, just like we're gonna throw a baby, and I'm like, which is funny.
Let me explain. See, what happened was, right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Joey the entire time. I talked to the baby, and the baby said he was fine with me tossing him at Joey.
Ah,
Like
okay.
going to the table. You watch the baby camera. He nods his head and says yes.
Okay.
I say get him, and he takes that. He jumped on his own. I didn't throw him.
Hey, again, we're gonna go with it, which is funny though, because one of my boys, one of my co-hosts on another podcast I do, because I commentate as well. And
Yeah.
one of the things he wants me to say is he threw the baby at someone, and I'm like, it just has to make sense. So one day, we'll see if it happens that I get to call one of your matches. I might get to say the line, and it'll make sense.
Who knows?
But
I might
right
have
now,
the baby tag up with me.
it's gonna happen one day. It's gonna happen one day. But no, so now here we go. We got VXS in the building. Long live Jason David Frank. Shout out to all the Las Vegas fans too. See y'all Friday about the locals. What's going on? I know that's my boy Isaac in the chat right there. So shout out to Isaac and the whole team over at VXS. But but no, now we get into that though. We get into Friday. What does that mean though? To be able to make your way back again, basically home, because the Mecca. If you guys are coming down, it's maybe 30 minutes away from NYC. So be able to wrestle over here, back in the East Coast. How does that feel to you?
Oh, it feels like, everything works its way around the circle, coming right back to home where I started when I first thought of wrestling as a kid. Was in New York, and then moved to freaking Florida and Vegas, and I'm going back to see pretty much where I started. So yeah, no, this will be exciting for me because I'm back in my stomping grounds. I feel like my energy is gonna be there. I'm gonna get all my New Yorkers, all the Brooklynness, all the Puerto Ricans, all the Latino-ness. I'm gonna come back a little whole new guy, So I mean, they might have seen me before when I first went to VXS, but I've changed so much and evolved a lot more since then, and I just can't wait to show everybody what they have not seen yet.
Definitely. Again, and that's been the constant thing. Like I said, just seeing how much you've even changed up, and just seeing the different evolutions and different notes that you're taking. It's always going to be that ever changing, always evolving with it. Like you said, is one of those of making things better. And even in the ring now, certain things have gotten even more innovative that you've been able to do with the character. So we'll see. You never know what can happen.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I promise. You ain't seen nothing. I'm still building. I promise. I'm coming with a whole new look, a whole new style of MJ. I mean, and especially for the ring, you're gonna see my moves, my Michael Jackson moves turn into some Michael Hershey moves. So
hey, there you go. That has to be the full circle right there. That is the perfect thing. Like, especially in a sport like this, hey, it all has to make sure so you can get that 1, 2, 3 in there.
Absolutely. And Blazing Lion, I never fought him yet, but I watched a lot of videos and he looks pretty great. Like I can't wait to see what his style versus my style looks like when it's all one-on-one. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun match, I think.
Got you. No, definitely. And I just saw he was actually in your neck of the woods now, because he was just over at FSW. They did a little bit of a joint event with House of Glory. So he was out over there making his way. So now to do it again over here, do it in the tri-state, and see what happens when you two go in there. Because like I've said on a few podcasts now, Jay has been someone that's been killing it, someone that's been tearing the scene over here. But it's usually in that tag team style. He's usually a tag team wrestler, former tag team champions everywhere he goes. But don't count him out, though. He can do his thing in there. He has that.
I count nobody out, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got the Jackson 5 behind me somewhere.
No. Just in case, the baby will be in the locker room. Just in case.
I got a wolf somewhere too.
Well, we have seen that. We have seen that other side. You even brought it out when you faced Effie a little while back. Can you explain a little bit of that transformation? How does that evolution been of adding something else to even give fans another type of what Santana Jackson can bring to that ring?
Man, it's just it's a transformation from being entertaining, dancing, making the moves look cool and having fun, to actually getting more aggressive. You got a spear now. You got more of a clothesline. You got the wolf comes out of me. It's kind of like the hulking up.
Okay,
hulking up, but it's a wolfing up.
No, I like it. No, that definitely it makes sense, because it's one of those where you would think a character like this, because I can imagine when people see you, they're thinking, oh, he's gonna be just the comedy style. There's not gonna be much to it. They're not gonna be a true like, oh, he's gonna do this, do this, do this. And then you go out there and it's like, wait a second, he's flying out there. Oh shit, he can do this. Oh damn, now he's putting on some technical in there, and it's like, huh?
Yeah, I try to surprise people because I know a lot of little things here and there. And I do what I can. You know, I try to show off what you guys want to see, but it's more. There's a lot more. I mean, I'll choke somebody out.
Again, we've seen it. We've seen it again. If you guys seen the TMZ clip, he has had unfortunately to do it. So you never know what could happen. You never know what could happen in there. So don't test him, man. Don't test him because you might be next on the ground. And yeah.
Not just that, I know my judo, so you know, judo know if I got a gun, judo know if I got a knife, judo know. So I'm just trying to say.
You gotta love it. But no, now we're gonna go into this one that this is usually the harder question. So I'm gonna ask it in two ways, because especially from the performance side and from the wrestling, we'll go wrestling first. So we'll go into for you, for your career so far. Again, there's still much to come, much to do. But for your career so far, what would you say has been a match that defines your career so far?
The match I had with Speedball Mike Bailey. I think that match I had with him was I was able to show that I can wrestle, I can entertain you, and I can go with the best. I can go with the best of them. Like I had, and Mike Bailey right now, I feel like he's one of the top wrestlers in the world that's pushing himself, that's getting recognition out there for what he does. You know, he's amazing wrestler, amazing talent, and I had the pleasure to fight him and you know go 1-on-1 in the ring with this guy. So that was like my favorite match of the matches I've had. And of course, Effie was another second match I had that I love wrestling with Effie. I pick up and learn so much more with him sometimes, and it's a good time. It's always a good time with those guys. So, but my main guys right there, definitely with Speedball, his intelligence when it comes to the ring, what his know-how, and it was great to pick his brain and learn from the guy. So yeah, man, that would be the one I had the most best. I want to say one of my best matches that made me feel like, yeah, that's what I could do.
No, that makes sense. Again, we've had so many people that's usually that go-to answer, especially if they've had the honor of sharing the ring with Speedball. That's one of those of even after it's like it reassures yourself like, oh man, yeah, we're doing this. We're gonna keep it going. Because Speedball truly is killing it right now. Shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey, current TNA X Division champion, doing his thing.
Amazing.
And Effie's another one that showed everyone how to truly market yourself in wrestling. Like he's been that marketing machine, has shown what it is that even with the machine not backing you, what you could do in wrestling. So
I mean, Effie's like the Hulk Hogan of the Indies right now. You know, he's everyone. If you don't know who Effie is, you know, you better start paying attention. That guy's getting a lot of recognition. He's pushing hard. He's working hard. He's changing up. He's getting bigger size to him. He's looking great. So I mean, big shout out to Effie for all the amazing work he's been putting into everything he does. So,
oh, definitely so. So now I have to ask you, when it comes to performances, what has been that one that you could say has defined you so far as a performer? Even if it's just that one song that I was like, you know what, when I did this, it was like you just felt it.
Oh, that's when I go back to my Billie Jean, because there's a moment during the show they kill the lights, everything else goes dark, but there's the one spotlight that hits me in silhouette. And then when I get down and I start dancing, I just get in that zone. Man, that's it for me. That's where I want to do. I'll do that the entire show. Like that's my favorite part, to really get down. Like I even tell you before I do it, I'll talk to the fans like, this is my favorite part. I hope you guys are ready for it. I'll take my hat off and I'll just flick it right on, and I'll take my sweet time and just go into the music. It's I don't know how to say it's perfect. Chef's kiss, you know.
Oh, got you. That works right there. So we got it right there. It's having that, even that contrast right there, having that, and just seeing how even in both crafts right here, how you can have those moments of just like, you know what, this is it. This is having those defining moments right there. So that's awesome.
And the crowds what get me. If the crowd screams and yells for you, that just hypes me up so much more. I'm gonna give you so much more of me. I'm gonna go from being Michael Jackson to being Puerto Rican by the end of the show. I'm telling you, to sweat that shit right off.
Oh man. Which that does bring me to that again, to those roots and having that. Did you ever think, again, that young kid in Brooklyn just doing what you were doing? Did you ever think this was gonna be, again, the goal here? This was gonna be what you were doing and being, the one that was gonna take you to the next level? Did you ever think that? Or was it just, you just felt it?
Oh, that's that. I swear I go back to my Billie Jean, because there's a moment during the show they kill the lights, everything else goes dark, but there's the one spotlight that hits me in silhouette. And then when I get down and I start dancing, I just get in that zone. Man, that's it for me.
again, as someone that's not only getting to do amazing performances, getting to travel the world with it, but also being in that ring, man. So getting to do both passions that you had and both things that you at one point is like, oh, this is awesome. And it's like, one day I'm gonna really get into this. One day I'm gonna fully, this is gonna be the career.
I couldn't tell you. I never had thought this out. I never thought about this ever happening. I mean, I always wanted to perform. I always wanted to meet Michael, and I wanted to wrestle. I never knew I could wrestle until I found that out. But like, I didn't have a passion for anything. I didn't really wasn't sure where I was going. A lot of people, sometimes when they get, but then I show what they want. They want to be a mover. You want to be work in hospitals. You want to do an ambulance. I didn't know what I wanted. I wanted to do something. I know I did a lot of bit of everything. I was a carpenter. I worked for moving companies. I worked for fast food. I done, home good type stuff, working inside retails, and just none of that was what clicked for me. It wasn't what I had passion for. It wasn't like, and eventually me finding this, and then I realized this is what I've been looking for. It's what I've been searching for. So before it was just like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a teacher, I'm gonna be a veterinarian. It wasn't like a goal, like, oh, this is exactly what I want. My goals came when I got older, and I realized I should have something I'm fighting for, I'm looking for. And I was like, well, I've been working hard at dancing all my life, so let's see if we can do something with this. And the Michael thing came up. I took off with that, and then wrestling. I was like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Started wrestling. Just like, now you got two of my favorite things. I love performing, entertaining people, and I love performing, entertaining people. So it's like I kind of got two different passions. I like to hit people, and I like to dance.
No, it worked out, and it's one of those where with wrestling, I always say, the reason I call it a craft because it's one of those where it's such a craft that you have to uh, truly put that time into, but it
Yeah.
has so many things that it is described as. Because again, it is an art form. It is best form of theater as well because it has so much things mixed in that it's like you can add what you do as again with your performance to this that it just translates so well that it's like cool. I get to do both, and it's one of those where I could still do things that I do here over here. Just when you're doing MJ Live, I don't think you're trying to hit anyone. Hopefully,
I mean, sometimes I forget. Like it was in Atlantic City, and I super kicked one of my dancers during Smooth Criminal. It was just an accidental super kick. Oh, Lego, you ran up on me. I couldn't help you.
oh man. But here we go. We got VXS in the chat saying, who do you want to face when AEW or TNA hits your lineup? Well, we've seen it before. You were when that backstage at AEW dancing even with the world's strongest man at one point.
Oh
So
yeah.
they got your number. They
They got
definitely
my
have your
number. I
number.
mean, I got to meet Tony. I got to shake his hand. I thank Sabu because Sabu is like my uncle right now. He's been like taking me everywhere when he goes to like stuff like that. He's like, "You gonna come? Of course I want to come." He's like, "You gonna be my security, but you have to dress up like Michael." I was like, "What?"
Hey, again, it's a perfect thing though, because they would never expect, man, if you only knew he could take you down like that.
MJ security. They're like, "Why is Sabu walking around with Michael Jackson?" Because I'm about to make you go hee hee.
Oh man, that is awesome. But no, that does put that out there. Are there people that you're looking at right now on the independent scene or even in those companies that you're like, you know what, I got to step in there with? Because like
I mean,
even Friday, you're gonna see a lot of people on that card that are representing multiple companies out there at VXS. You got the notorious 187 Homicide in there. You got Kenta. You have Masha Slamovich, Jordan Grace. You have yourself. You got again talents that are killing it all over. Are there some talents out there that you're like, you know what? We got to share that dance floor at least once.
I mean, I keep hearing something about the pizza guy. I think that'd be kind of fun. The Blue Cane. These guys have been on my radar. Those are actually the two I've been thinking about. I think I'd have fun with. And of course, if it came to AEW, I definitely want to fight Orange Cassidy. I think Orange Cassidy would be a fun match. I mean, I fought Danhausen recently, so that was kind of like, hey.
I was gonna say, yeah, you got to be in there again with some very nice, very evil in there with Danhausen.
Oh man.
But I think that definitely would be interesting to see you and Orange Cassidy in there and see what can happen. How slow or how smooth we can get in there.
Hey, I would love to see how cool the same. Both got the same glasses. Kind of same slickness. So let's see what happens. Might turn into a tag team.
Who knows? Who knows? Again, some crazy things have happened, but we shall see. We shall see what happens in there.
And
But again,
one more set of guys I do want to fight.
ooh, okay.
My last, since I go by Santana Jackson,
Yeah.
of course I want to take on the Jacksons. I got to take on the Young Bucks
Okay.
at least once in my life.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. You got to get in there, and especially the bosses. Like they control everything. So why not get in there with the young bucks in there?
Oh yeah.
I can also imagine because like that first side of the name right there, Santana, and I think this is why VXS even threw it out there. How about one Mike Santana, another fellow body in there that's been killing it on the scene?
I know I've been seeing forever, and I was like, man, there's another Santana out there. I'm like, that's my real name too, though. I was like, well, let's do it. I'm like, let's Santana and Santana. Let's do it. I'm from Puerto Rican and from Brooklyn, New York too. Like, we're damn near brothers. Let's go ahead and go at it. The only difference is I dress like this.
Oh man. But no, that is the best thing because again, you're getting to do this and you're so representing. It's one of those where, like you said, the voice is there. It's something that you can't hide. You can't hide that New York style, you can't hide that. Even with all of this, it's still there,
Let me get some coffee. Like, hey, he's from New York. Coffee. He said water with a D. Water.
Oh man.
He's dying over here. Forget about it.
Oh man, but before we let you go, man, because again, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I have to ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on, and that is for Santana Jackson here, what is the end goal?
The end goal?
Yeah.
Really, I'm just trying to show my kids, I want to take care of them. Obviously, it's the ending is to take care of my kids, make sure they're taken care of for the rest of their life, whatever they need. And really just take care of my family. My end goal is to make sure all my family's happy. Everyone has a house. My sister has a house. My mom has her own house. I have my own house. My brother has a house. We're all happy. I want to make sure I take care of my family, basically. That's
Gotcha.
my end goal is take care of my family. Yeah.
Oh, that is perfect right there. And again, it truly shows from those beginnings right there to be able to do that and have that true comfortability, that is awesome. So again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you're following this man on all of his social media. Follow him on Instagram right there, Santana.Jackson7. Follow him on X right there at SJ Moonwalk DDT right there. Again, make sure you are in the building this Friday. It will be Arrival 2, Santana Jackson taking on Jay Lion. It goes down at the Mecca. Get your tickets now because officially front row is sold out. It's gone. So make sure you get your tickets now. But if you can't be in the building, however, make sure you're checking it out on YouTube, especially if unfortunately you can't make it to the tri-state area. Check out on the VXS YouTube channel where you can catch the whole event live. It is going to be stacked. You're going to see this man doing his thing, killing it out there, and so much more. But Santana, thank you so much for joining us here. And to everyone watching, tune in because we have a stacked week this week on the podcast. So definitely we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people.